You talk about defending that quarterback. Talk about Bo Nix, man. I mean, obviously a guy that has just shown that the dude will figure out ways to win games. And so I think Fitz coined it the Bo experience. Sometimes, listen, he'll have his ups and downs, but in the big moments of games, I mean, listen, I think I sent Fitz a text yesterday or Sunday. I was like, literally, Bo effing Nix, man. I mean, it's just like when you need him to do something, like he just does it. Like he'll just find a way to do it. But he obviously gets, now there's lots of criticism of his play, like, hey, more consistency, all this. Talk about him and just, your role and really his career and defending him.
Bo is, first off, I didn't quite understand who he was when he first came to Denver because, I knew he was a Christian. I knew he had all these values. I knew he went to Auburn and Oregon and he was married. But when you watch him play, it's like, dude, this dude has some serious balls. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you play quarterback, you have
Fitz
to have some balls.
He didn't get him at first. Fitz didn't get him at first.
You know what I mean? Like you have to you have to have some balls. You have to have some swag. And, I watched these throws, early on last year. I was like, in practice, I was like, no looks and 60-yard bombs, off 1 foot. And I'm like, dude, who is this kid? And he would get in the huddle and he would be like, basically like freak it. Like, we're just going to go down and score and win. And, last year he had a hell of a year, being a rookie. And then I feel like this year, he's, obviously, through the NFL and, just the history is like there's that sophomore slump. And, I feel like there's some games where he comes out slinging, but then at the end of the game, when it's the fourth quarter, I don't know what turns into him. It's like he gets like Hulk juice at halftime and just like shoots him up with this IV. But like he has no fear. And it's like when he gets in the zone, it's like, come on, guys, let's go. Like, we're going to go freaking win. And we win. And he makes these throws that are like, what's going on? And our receivers are catching the ball. And then I don't know what it is. Like, we could be down by 40 points in the fourth quarter and win. Like, I truly believe that. And he's so calm and so composed and nothing phases him. Like, he throws a pick, that doesn't bother him. He gets sacked, nothing bothers him. Like, he misses a throw, nothing bothers him. And like, to have a quarterback like that, like, that's a dangerous quarterback. And when nothing can phase him, he can get hit as hard. I mean, I've seen him take licks and he just bounces up like nothing happens. And I think that one fears the other team and that makes the defensive coordinator extremely mad because this guy has some just serious balls. And, I think just having a young guy that has, that swagger and that attitude, it just feeds into the locker room. And yeah, does he have his quirkiness for sure? But I love his quirkiness. I love who he is. And, he combs his hair and like, I love all that about him. You know what I mean? That's just who he is, but he knows who he is. And I feel like, as a quarterback and the leader of an organization, when you know who you are as a person and the guys in the building know who you are, like you have to respect that. And I'm grateful for him. And I truly do love him. I couldn't ask for a better quarterback. Obviously, I've gone through so many quarterbacks. I think he's like my 16th quarterback, which is about as many years as you played, Fitz, both of you guys. I have 16 of them. So having that and having that desire and having that swag to lead us to victory, like the sky's the limit for him and he's only going to get better and better and better. And you never know, like one game he's going to throw for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards. And the next game, it's like, he's 12 for 15. We have 100 yards. And also in the fourth quarter, he has 2 touchdowns and he's at 230 yards. Like it's crazy. And
it is.
He has it. He really has the it factor. And, you can't teach that. You can't teach the it factor.
And to have it at such a young age too, that was, him arguing with Coach Payton on the sideline last year as a rookie. You're like, who the hell is this guy? Like, who does he think he is? But I think as a quarterback, the two things that I always needed traveling to every different place that I went to, it was like, number one, I always had to believe in myself. Like I had to believe myself. And sometimes when I didn't, I had to even fake it. And number two, you had to have all those guys that you're playing with believe in you and your ability. And I think that's the thing. I just sit back here and love listening to you talk about Bo, because I was talking to some guys on your staff before our game a couple weeks ago, and everybody in that building believes in him. And we can go through all the stats and the lulls and the inconsistencies. But like you just said, in the fourth quarter, when you guys need a play, the dude is competitive as hell, and he makes the plays more often than not. So I think it's been really fun to watch you guys. What about your relationship with the head guy and kind of the culture change that's happened since Coach Payton has been there, GB?
Yeah. See, I love your tone, Fitzy. Coach SP is awesome, man. I truly do respect him. I deal with a lot of things, with anxiety and, my learning disability that a lot of people know about. And, that's been something that, I battled my whole life in. And, having a coach that understands that, he's the first coach that has truly understood that and knows that I love my family and loves being around my family and coaches me in the way that, it's all about family and ball. And at first, I was like, who is this guy when he first came in? And, he was changing things. We were practicing 3+ hours. And I was like, okay, this is like Coach Whittingham at Utah. Like, I have to respect this. I know how to do this. And I had to change my mindset. And, we would have deep conversations about our families and our military backgrounds and, all these different things. And, all we wanted to do was win. And, at first, I was really close with Russell. And, that whole thing that happened, that was really hard for me because, as a left tackle, you protect your quarterback on and off the field. And I take pride in that. And so, we had a little miscue with that. But I think, coming with Bo and having that connection, and then, we realized who we were and him trusting me, for the training camp schedule and, the OTA schedule. And then obviously, the in-season schedule, he's just very consistent in what he does. And I'm a very, structured person. So when you have a structure and you do it's the same thing every day, like that's when I'm at my best. And I love him. I'm beyond grateful for him. And I couldn't be proud to be able to be a Denver Bronco and, our owners, the Walter Penner Group and, Kerry and Greg that oversee that. They just want to win and give us the best modalities, the best coaches, the best facility that we're building a new stadium. Like that's all you want as a player is like having these people believe in you. And it's truly a family. This is the closest group that I've ever been around. It used to be a lot of fighting and bickering and arguing. And now it's like, I got your back and you got mine. We got one of the best D lines in football. We have one of the best O lines in football. We battle it out. We want what's best for each other. We believe in each other. And, there's games where our defense has won games for us. And I couldn't be grateful to have an unbelievable defense. And then there's times where, we have a minute 30 left, like last week, and we got to go down and kick a field goal to win. And we did it. And, or we were down we scored 30 unanswered points against the Giants and we had to score 30 points in the fourth quarter to win. And we just feed off of each other. And I think it's just that culture of 1 versus 1s that we started in OTAs. We had it in training camp. We still do it once a week. We have 4 or 5 plays where we go hard at each other. And I think it's just that respect factor and that culture factor that he builds. And I knew it was going to take about, 2 to 3 years to really have everyone buy in. And now we're seeing the results from it. And it's pretty cool to see.